Hello my dear students, I hope all of you are doing well and then as well as learning also. So today in this video we are going to do two more questions, that is question number 13 and 14 from exercise 9.1. So let's get straight back to the question. Okay. As observed from the top of a 75-meter lighthouse from the sea level. Okay. So let this be the sea level, alright. Then maybe this is my lighthouse, which is 75 meter. Now from the top of the lighthouse, what is happening is the angles of depression of two ships. Depression means what? We are at the top and then we are looking down, so that's why now we have to look down. But when you look down, the horizontal line, of course, this is going to be my angle line of sight. So let's say this is my line of sight, let's say this is X. So I'm observing two ships, maybe one at this position, one at this position. And then the angle of depression that is formed is 30 and 45 degree. But always do remember, that is like when I look down, the ship that is nearby to me definitely will be forming a bigger angle, that is going to be 45 degree, because the nearer, as I say, the higher it is, the angle of elevation is more. So this is going to be 45, that means actually this angle was 45 degree because it's angle of depression, right? Then compared to the other ship, which is forming an angle of depression of 30 degrees. So this is going to be the figure, that is the angle of depression of two ships are 30 and 45 degree. But when you draw the diagram, please see to it that this 45 degree is nearer to the lighthouse, because the nearer the angle should be bigger. Of course, it is about angle of depression, but still that these are parallel lines, like parallel line to the line of to the sea level. This is the parallel line of sight, horizontal line. So this will be equal, alternate interior angles, definitely, right? So that's why this angle will be 45, this angle will be 30, alright? So the more farther, the smaller the angle. If one ship is exactly behind the other on the same side of the lighthouse, so this is on the same side of the lighthouse, find the distance between the two ships. So let this be the side AB, C, D. So imagine that the two ships are at C and D. So the distance between the two ships, that is, we have to find out C, D. Okay, let's begin. So I'm just going to rub this off. So since our diagram is perfectly drawn, we are not going to waste much time with the introduction part. Let's just write down some of the basic things, that is, let AB, which is equal to 75 meter, be the height of lighthouse. Then C and D be the position of the two ships. Okay. So CD will be what? Distance. What was the questions? Distance between the two ships. So CD equal the distance between the two ships. And the rest, if you have drawn your diagram very clearly, it should be very well understood by your teacher concerned. So I think that should be enough. But remember, okay, diagram, please draw it properly. Once you're talking about angle of depression, so make sure that the first one is the higher angle, that is 45 degree. The next one, that is your smaller angle, which is for the point both far away, that should be 30 degrees. So these two angles should be same. So the rest of the diagrams will be clear. Let's go to the, as I always say, to the smaller angle, preferably which has this 45 degree. This one. Of course, this is going to be perpendicular. So in triangle ABC, as usual, tan 45 is equal to AB by BC. What did I say before in the other questions and all, that I say that the key to solving a problem is always with the figure. You get your figure correct, just to solve the triangles, you get your answer, boom. So 1 is AB, 75, BC we don't know, so cross multiplying, BC is equal to 75 meter, bus. Then moving on to the next triangle, that is a bigger triangle, ABD. ABD. Tan of 30 degree is equal to AB by BD. What is tan of 30? It is 1 by root of 3. AB2 we already know, that is 75. What is BD? We don't know, but BD we can write as BC plus CD. BC plus CD. What do we have to find out? BC. Bus. You have your figure solution already. So done, no? So I'll just cross multiply. So BC we already calculated, 75 meters. CD too we have to find out. So CD will be what? 75 root 3 minus 75. So 75 common, root of 3 minus 1 meter. So that's CD, and that was what we were supposed to find out, the distance between the two ships. So bus, that's it. So simple as that. So again, no, it's the key actually is always what, getting the figure correct. Let's move on to another second question, that is question number 14. Yeah, one last question. I'll do only 2 questions in this video. It says, diagram is also given actually in the textbook. It says, a 1.2 meter tall girl spots a balloon moving with the wind in a horizontal line at a height of 88.2 meter from the ground. So this is my horizontal line. There is a girl 1.2 meter tall. She is observing a balloon which is at a height of 88.2 meters. Let's say, okay. So let's say this is 88.2, the full length. This is the balloon. Then what happens is the wind is moving in the horizontal line. That means the wind is not letting the balloon go up or down. Okay? And then the angle of elevation that is formed is 60 degrees. Okay, no problem. The angle of elevation of the balloon from the eyes of the girl. So that's why I drew this, because it's from the eyes of the girl. You remember a similar question to this we did, I think, in one of the questions before. So she's observing the balloon. Angle of elevation is formed from, so since she's 1.2 meter tall, her eyes are definitely not here. Her eyes are actually on the head. So from the eyes, that's why the question is being so specific. The angle of elevation from her eyes. So that means there is something to do with this height. Let's see what happens. So from her eyes and the horizontal line, the angle of elevation formed at the balloon is 60 degree. Okay, and the balloon height is 88.2, of course with respect to the ground only. Then after some time, the angle of elevation reduces to 30 degree. So after some time, that means the balloon is moving far away again. The balloon is moving maybe here. After some time, and since the wind is horizontal, the balloon is not going up. The angle of elevation reduces to 30 degree. Okay. Find the distance traveled by the balloon. I'll just draw these lines. Find the distance traveled by the balloon. So what is the distance traveled by this balloon? This one. So since this will be horizontal perpendicular lines, the distance of this balloon can also be calculated by this distance or by this distance. These are all parallel lines, so this will all be same. Okay? Find the distance traveled by the balloon during this particular interval. So now let's just name these letters. Let's say this is A, let's say this is B, C, D, E, F, let's say this is G, let's say this is H. I think that's all. Okay. Now see, the triangle actually is formed at the upper part as per our figure, because the girl is observing. The angle of elevation is with respect to the eyes of the girl. So that means this total length was actually, as it is given in the question, 88.2. So, but we have to ignore this height because her angle of elevation is formed from her eyes. Again, I repeat that. So this distance height I have to ignore because the triangle is formed from her eyes only. So if this is 1.2 meter, total height is 88.2 meters. So what will be the height of this? It's going to be 88.2 minus 1.2. So that's going to be 87 meters. So even this height, that is, will be same. DH also will be 87 meters. That's fine. Okay, and the rest, of course, we will have to calculate and then find out. So ultimately, what do we have to find out? We are supposed to find out AD, but that's not in the triangle part. So we will try to find out GH, because these are all horizontal perpendicular lines, parallel lines. So once I find GH, this will be the same as BC, which will be same as BD, because this is just the distance traveled by the balloon. Okay, got that? So let's just start solving and see what we have here. So actually everything is explained in the figure, so we don't have to explain too much with the given diagram here. So let's begin. Question number 14, that is, okay, height of girl EF, let's say 1.2 meter, height of girl. Since I think this line should explain everything, since angle of elevation is formed from her eyes. What shall we do? We will just write directly AG, or we want to explain. That's up to you, but I don't think we really have to explain so much in details, because I think that is actually well understood by all of us. So okay, so we will not explain too much. That is actually understood by us, so we'll just straight away write down. So from her eyes, what will happen is okay, AG will be simply equal to AB minus BG. So that's going to be 88.2 minus 1.2, so that's going to be 87 meters. Now this AG also will be same as I mentioned, DH. So AG will also be same as DH. I think that's fine. Okay. I think this explanation should be enough because this is all given now, since angle of elevation is formed from her eyes. Okay, I think that should be enough. Then of course let's just make some details. That is, let DA be the distance traveled by the balloon. Okay, let dA be the distance traveled by the balloon. Now this is clear. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up. But what will happen is dA will also be equal to GH. Alright? If you want to write down the reason, you can just write down like, since AB is parallel to CD. I think that should be more than enough of an explanation because these two lines are parallel. So that's why AD is going to be same as GH. So I think all this introduction will be same because we don't want the introduction to be too long or too lengthy. So let's find out, because now we know what to find out. Most of the things already explained, I believe. If anything skipped, of course you can add also, no problem with that. That's up to you. Explanation is up to you, no? How to describe the figure. Now let's solve. In triangle, which triangle shall I solve? I'll just solve the smaller triangle first, that is this triangle. So in triangle DHF, tan of 60, because this triangle, this angle is the one, isn't it? Tan of 60 is going to be DH by HF. Tan 60 is root 3. DH is 87. HF, we don't know. So HF root of 3, 87. Done? I'm going to rub this off. So HF will be 87 by root 3. We can factorize this, root 3 into root 3. So that's 87 root 3 upon 3. So 3 2s are 6, 7, 8, 2 left, 3 9s are 27. So that's going to be 29 root 3 meters. So this HF is 29 root 3. Okay, we might need that. Let's go to the bigger triangle. As I said, once your diagram is clear, it's all about solving the triangles. Don't think of anything else. In triangle AGF, tan of 30 is equal to AG upon GF. Tan 30, 1 by root 3. AG, same, 87. GF, tan plus GH plus HF. So cross multiplying GH plus HF will be 87 root of 3. Now GH2 we have to find out distance between the two balloons, distance traveled by the balloon. HF we just calculated that 29 root 3 equal to 87 root 3. So GH will be 87 root 3 minus 29 root 3. So same quantities, like terms, we can subtract directly. So 87 minus 29. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, something. So that's, I think, going to be 58 root of 3 meters. 58 root of 3 meters. So definitely, so therefore distance traveled by the balloon is how much? 58 root of 3 meters. So this was a rather interesting question. Please practice it at least 2-3 times, then only you will really understand, and then try to solve, because see, practice is more important. Just watching the videos is not going to help. Okay, yes, when you have doubts, please watch the videos, learn from it, but it's more about your practice only. So see to it that you practice. Watching only will not help. Okay, so alright then, so that's the end of this particular video. In the next video I'm going to solve the last 2 questions and then wind up with the chapter. Then we'll move on to another new chapter. So I hope that you've learned. If you have learned, please make sure that you subscribe, share, and then of course, yes, don't forget to like the video if you have learned something from it. So till then, happy learning. See you in the next video. Bye bye.